Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifers Show, baby. Let's go. Let's keep the hype going. I got it, baby. Let's go. Woo! Opened up along at 919. It banged on them in less than 45 minutes for gains. 5, 10%, whatever you took. We nailed it to the upside. Shout out to anyone that took gains on the profit, or if they still may be in the trade. I'm hype right now. I'm hype. We've been nailing Bitcoin last 5, 6 trades in a row, just banging on them to the upside. Shout out to all the lifers in the trading group. Shout out to anyone that made gains on Pepe 2.0 the last couple days. Shout out to anyone that's just making gains, baby. There's been gains in the trading group. The last week I look back, I'm like, dang. Hi, MFers. I put this out on June 21st, or my team put this out on June 21st. I got this for High Undead. I put High Undead out on June 16th. This thing banged on them for 86% gains. Yes, it took almost a month, but patience pays at these low liquidity levels where you have a beautiful, it's the Fibonacci. You're in the golden pocket, 618 Fibonacci retracement. Something's brewing there. Then my elites, the elites banging on them to the upside. I believe this is David Kendall by the look of the chart. 138% gains coming to the upside on high MFers. Bang, bang, bang. My man Stack McChange had LMR for 125% gains. He had it out the day before it pumped, or that night. It pumped the next morning, banged to the upside less than 24 hours for 125%. I had EGLD inside this beautiful tight channel. Eventually pop for 56%. None of these would hit a stop loss if you just simply put a stop loss below the previous lows and the bottoms of the channels. Like, just pretty simple stuff. Like, none of it was that hard. That one was a continuation pattern. BCB got tight inside the channel, popped for 48% gains on July 2nd from July 30th. Flow, I put out inside this flat little channel. It looked like it was going to break out. The stochastics, everything looked really nice for an aggressive pump. It broke out for 40% gains. Litecoin was just sitting there up and down. It popped out the flag for 22% gains, right? A Bitcoin accurate call there in that cup and handle. And we didn't even put all the accurate Bitcoin calls out, but if we did, it would be insane. FTT, for some reason, just saw it in this flag, retesting the previous resistance. That flag would continue up for 96%. Just massive gains. And this is from June 25th till now. It's been a week and a half, like 12 days. Pretty nuts. GFAL, when we first found that coin on June 16th, that pumped till the 27th for 98%. Hyrenga, other high coins. It's just, man, it's just been nuts. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. God bless each and every one of you for jumping on in. So now we look at BOOKMAP, and prices have just been going up and down. This morning was insane. All right. Yeah, I could show you the screen when I show you the gains. That would be a good idea, right? But the gains were real. You know what I mean? The gains were real. High Undead, 86%. High MFers for 138%. Pepe 2 for 87% gains. And that's actually went up 100% and more. That thing banged on them to the upside. We put it out at 8:46 p.m. Funny look, at 8:46 a.m. Somehow to the exact 12-hour minute, that thing was on a verse. LMR by my man Stack McChange to the upside for 125% gains. AGLD inside the tight channel, 56%. Flow, banging on them for 40%. BCB got tight in the channel, 48%. July 2nd, this is all in July, baby. Late June, MOV for 63%. Accurate calls on Bitcoin out the cup and handle. I mean, FTT and a flag for 96%. June 24th, 5 days later, the 29th. Tenet for gains. FTT again continued. That was the beginning. High MFers for 79%. GVao we found, remember? Man, it's just been, honestly, for a slow summer month, this trading group just continues to grind through, and we find things that are just unbelievable. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Look, there he is right there in my DMs. He's sliding in my DMs, man. Crypto Billy. Shout out to gains on gains on gains. Wild 30 making a hell of a cup. Gotta wait for the handle now. Dang. Shout out to Sean Behringer. Shout out to James Wozniak. Shout out to Crypto Bear Baker. Shout out to Scotty Swing. Stack McChange in the house. Crypto Bear Baker banging on him. D Shuffle. Jay Baker. My man. We got a team. Crypto Fever. Creators Crypto. Adam Wild. Armand Habits. Nemesis J. Armo. Wow. Daniel Perez. Wes Saldivar, my man. Chad Smith in the house. Mountain Man in the house. Jacob L. in the house. Joao Pierres. If I say that right. Joao Pierres. Wow. Birdman in the house. Banging on him. We got a new member here. Congratulations to George Omalas. Thank you for jumping on in. Yesterday was insane. People were gifting memberships like I wouldn't believe. It was insane. Anyway, let's get into Bitcoin. So this is what happened today in Bitcoin land. I wake up, I do an update. I would like to just show you. The update's just kind of interesting. Let's see if we just play the update. It's so interesting because I'm going over Bitcoin, and at the last minute, I'm like, you know what? The 7-minute may pump. Let's just watch this 7-minute for a pump, right? And I say, and then I draw the measured move of the pump, which gives us like 30,400, right? Let me see here if we can get this cooking, if this will play correctly. Good morning. Here's our update for Bitcoin. So the bullish divergence did play out, but could not get us above the resistance at 30,333, 344, and that is 300 really, and that's that weekly. Thank you so much for the memberships and the super chats. That we really must get back above. 1 hour the 1 minute right now is not looking amazing. The 1 hour is overbought, and we weren't able to. Another really member. Shout out to Joao Pierres. We love you, brother. Thank you for jumping on. Nice bullish divergence on the 15-minute. That didn't really play out. So right now, I mean, if I had to call it, you're getting overbought on the 1 hour and so I start bearish 15-minute time frame. So this is what we're in. We're in this falling or this broadening or falling wedge where it's getting wider and going down. You see, just still bullish. It's a overall pattern that can break back to the upside. We try to adjust this correctly. It's hard to get it all aligned without having to bring in some wicks, which is my favorite thing. But usually Friday in the summer, you're not going to get as much movement, So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for just bearish for a move, right? Sideways price action for the day, probably more than likely, but shoulder, head, kind of a right shoulder there. That's a head and shoulder pattern. And the 15 minutes overbought and the 1 hour's overbought. 4 hours all right with some bullishness, slight bullishly, but right now I'd wait on this 1 hour. That's an M, resistance. So I'd be shorting it right now with a stop loss like somewhere above here. See, if it breaks out and I get stopped out in the short squeeze, then we look for the long retest, But for my opinion, it's more likely we go to the downside here than to the upside. This is a bit of an M pattern, and we're very overbought on the 15 and the 1 hour time frame. So my prediction until I go live in about 2 hours is that we will go to the downside, or sideways. But I don't see a big move to the upside happening. But anything is possible. Just remember that. Just because I said it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. This is my projection. Who knows? But thank God, I look at the 7-minute. I'm going to look at BOOKMAP just to see where the liquidity lies. And see if it adds to anything we're looking at. And I mean, we do still see this huge fat order down at 29.6, 29.4. That's like the biggest order on the block. We see some other orders further up in here, like 30,300. But it's a pretty massive sell wall. So do we come up here, get sold off again, and then get a breakdown to 29.8? Could be a possibility, but there is more liquidity down here than up here, but there's closer liquidity. Usually you go to the closer liquidity. So the chance that you could get stopped out on the short up to 30,300 based on this big bar of liquidity. Do we pump up to there? And look, that's that 7-minute. Can the 7-minute throw us 7-minute may do it, It's funny, it's been a while since we used just the 7-minute Hail Mary, and the 7-minute was that for a long time, that was like a constant, right? We were doing that all the time. Deleting my yellow lines or deleting 2, and technically you could say it's in this flag. So I'd watch the 7-minute. The 7-minute could be the one outlier, and look, it's funny, 30,300 is the order. And this brings you up to like 30,390, basically to the same area. And that's this swing high right there, 30,003. So I'd watch the 7 minute, all right, just in case. Many times I've seen all the big time frames say no way. The 7 minute does something amazing. So I switched long at that point I switched to an idea that we have to at least let the 7 minute play out. I always let the 7. This is a deep, because I hope you're like watching this, because that is such deep analysis that will teach you something later on in life. Really, really big deal. You know. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to everybody. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. So the idea was that we could break out to the measured move here at 33,398. We went to 33,344, which is pretty interesting. At one point, I then eventually opened along in the trading group. You know, I'm just showing you what it's like to be in the trading group too, because people who aren't in the trading group just want to get that feel. You know, what do you get, right? And so the market, you know, I keep going over things in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm saying, calling a pump on the 4 hour here to the top of the channel. See this move up? Made sense to me. And then I said, I just opened up a long, right? And I even gave the stop loss, you know, take profit 31,650, stop loss 29,700, right? And it was, I believe, with 12x leverage. Might have been, yeah, I believe 12x leverage. I purposely wanted to put the leverage there. I think it is there at one point. Anyway, so that played out nicely. And the long I opened was at 919. It was right around here. See, once we had broken back out. Now let's go over what happened today, because it was insane. All right. So we're sitting here and I say basically, you know, my update goes out. Within like 5 minutes, this breaks up to the upside and does this massive candle. Boom. Next thing you know, 7 minutes later, we're down again the same way. Then we're back up. Then we're down again, and then we rip again. The idea behind all this is the old school thing that I talked about yesterday that we went over in depth. And what I was saying was that is that once you go back inside a pattern, you will break back. You got to act like none of this happened. So it's hard to do, but you got to just say this didn't happen, and price is just still doing this, and it'll break right back up to its target. And I've seen this happen so many times in my life, and when I first saw it, I probably had no idea what I was seeing. Then again and again, and now I've seen it probably a few hundred, you know, maybe 1,000 times, who knows. But so much, you know, today's another day we get to bank inside the price action bank in our minds. And nobody can take away your time in the market. Shout out to James Wozniak. He made 20,000% on Pepe 2. He said, thanks to you, Lifer. I mean, no, that's, you pulled the trigger, though. I mean, 20,000% gains. Like, I couldn't believe it. I had to tweet it. Like, on Pepe 2. 20,500% gains, like in the trading group. Like, that's just insane. I woke up to just loveliness. So, and you know, today was a day of complete gratitude. I woke up, I did my update. We went through the charts in the morning, right? And I went out into my backyard barefoot. I grounded into that grass, and I let the sun hit me. I looked at all the flowers that I've planted throughout the years here in my backyard, the garden that I've made, and just, you know, seeing the bees go to the flowers, and I just took in nature. And I started saying, you know, I'm going to say something about gratitude today on the channel. And I started writing in my mind like what I wanted to say. And I just wanted to say, you know, I love what I do. I love the life that I live. I love being able to go live every single day and create this opportunity with each and every one of you. And I know that without each and every one of you, I would not have this beautiful show to come to every day, and the business that thrives, and the ability to travel and meet all these people around the world, because people met me through the channel, right? The networking that has, you know, and the love and the support. Whenever I go to other shows, you guys show up like there's lifers like hanging from the trees. You know, I call you guys savages, like just straight savages. And I'll be honest, it's just I never thought in a million years Like I thought cool things would happen in my life, and I believed success could come to me if I willed it into my life. But you never know how God's gonna plan your life. You never know how it's actually going to happen. And I could never paint a better picture than what's going on. So I just want to say I love everyone here. God bless you all. Thank you so much for every single time you come to one of my shows, every single time you show up and leave a comment, every single time you leave a super chat, say hi. Everyone in the trading group, anytime you talk about my trading group, retweet something, share something. That was crazy. But anytime you do anything to support me, I just want to say thank you so much. And may God bless you and your family, all your endeavors, everything that you're doing. Look at the 3333 right when I'm doing this. That's crazy. I'm telling you, man, there's something about that God number, man. But may God bless all of you. I just want to say thank you for everything. I'm not going anywhere right now. It's not a farewell or anything. I just want to say thank you to everybody on this beautiful Friday. 7-7. Today's 7-7 too. Something about that, you know. It's the 77. So, thank you everyone for being here. God bless you all. And I'm going to continue to grow and grind every single day. So, shout out to everybody on the live. So we eventually hit the point of two is we hit the target. We hit the target, you know, and it's hard to see. I know there's a lot of lines and stuff. We'll take away the moving average. And I'm just going to give you my overall picture. I think there's some fear in the market. But like, look, see, that was supposed to happen. That's exactly what happened. And we actually wicked up to my next resistance point that I had already drawn at 30,458, right? I left the trade. I took my piece. But yet again, another winning Bitcoin scalp, you know, so. Don't go, just place the lifer tattoo on my back. So funny, right? Yeah. Now, I won't go nowhere. You can put the tattoo down, man. The day of 7/7/7, July 7th, 2023. Thank you so much, Sammy. Forever grateful for you. God bless you, Lakochi Coker. God bless you for being in my life. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Crypto Bear Baker. Thank you for everything you do. Just, I love everyone, and I'm full of love and just complete gratitude today. I'm just pounding home the gratitude every second. You know, I was in such a beautiful state, a mental state. Like, I was in such a great mental state before my dad passed. You know, everything in my life was right where it should be. My kids were healthy. My wife was beautiful and sweet. You guys were going great. The group was at an all-time high, the trading group. You know what I mean? March, like, everything was going exactly to plan. April, my birthday came. I turned 40. Things started to change. Everything was going well. I mean, not things like, but everything was just going well. Then I went to Consensus. I had Miami booked. It just seemed like life was a dream. You know what I mean? And everything was just, and then bam, my dad dies. And it was like reality hit me so hard. I mean, reality has always hit me. I wasn't living in a dream state. But that was just like, bam. Anyway, so RIP to my dad, Jimmy Price. God bless my father. He was 70. He would have been 77 in October. I think that's what made me think of him, because today is 77. You know. So may he live in infamy. May I continuously talk about my dad. And very unique person. Very unique person. I mean, everyone is unique, but my dad stood out. In a crowd, my dad would stand out. If you came somewhere, you'd remember my father. You'd be like, I met this guy. I saw that he was a little different than most. He definitely stood out. My dad stood out. He was not a stick in the mud, as some would say. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin now. I'm going to redraw and just get fresh. And let's take a look at what's happening for Bitcoin. All right. So I've been looking at the bigger time frames too. The weekly, the monthly, right? Monthly just getting started. Just about to cross the dotted line. Huge moves can come out of that cross. Like right there, we crossed the dotted line. The whole entire bull run came above the monthly there, right? Same thing here, above the dotted line on the monthly. You know, I'm just, you know, Let's go to the BTC USD to all-time history index on this monthly. Get all that data. And another thing that I've been talking about, and I've brought up a few times, and I'm a huge hidden bullish guy. I made some big calls on hidden bullish divergence, like, because hidden bullish really can, it's impactful. When I see it 90% of the time, it plays out the way exactly like it's supposed to play out. And so you got to swing up here. You got to swing down to swing down. And it tells me that we should get a high above this high to the upside. So that's like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to make the high. You're supposed to break these highs. So this tells me that price action is very bullish. The last time we had hidden bullish divergence on the monthly chart was the last kind of beginning of the end of the bear market, beginning of the next bull run, right around here. See, we did get another little dip, but that was a black swan, and we never went lower than the previous low. Could Bitcoin make a dip, a capitulation on the monthly? It's anything is possible, all right. But getting back above this 200, the 21 SMA, it's also a big deal. You know, that's like getting above a 200 on a smaller time frame. So the monthly closes the monthly candle above the white line. It's a very, very good sign for Bitcoin. So the monthly looks strong. And look at this bullish engulfing candle too that it closed here in June. So we'll see what July leaves us, but and again, remember the week we're going to get into the weekly support now. But that's your monthly candles look bullish, and you have hidden bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. That's a big sign to me that there's going to be to continue to load up on at these areas for Bitcoin, and not be shy about my allocations. I'm excited. My mom and dad are coming to stay the weekend. Should be there when I get home from work. Definitely cherish when we visit. So cool, man. I love to watch and listen to your show, and I'm so sorry about your dad. May he rest in peace. God bless you, Zoran Bregovic. God bless you, man. A soul that came early to earth to pave the way for his son. Amen. Let's don't be a stick in the mud. Amen. Your dad is always watching you. He would be proud of you. Much love from Germany. Goosebumps. God bless you, brother. Born on 77 today and turned 33 today. I hope this year continues to bring me financial freedom. Daniel, man, born on 77 and you turn 33. I mean, today is like your day, and you're at the live stream. I think there's something cool about that. That's interesting. God bless you, Daniel Perez. Happy birthday, my man. Everyone wish this man a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Danny Perez. 33 beautiful years you've spent on the earth, man. God bless those years. You've lived many good years. Thank you for everything you do. Check OP, we will. And we'll check LINA too on that other super chat. And look, what I can do now, which I really like, is I can go here and just hit fan funding, and I can see all the super chats too. LINA, OP, right? And that's really nice too. So I can track them now. All right, so looking more further ahead, right? We just want to just double check these time frames, the bigger time frames. Always, I love the 2 week personally. One of my favorite ones to look at. Says we may eventually get a top somewhere up in this area and have to pull back at one point, but it's still pretty bullish up into the high momentum region. And I've seen big pumps come out of this high momentum region on the 2 week chart right there. Even right here, it was a little late there, but this one started really high. We were right above. We were kind of in the same zone, right? And again, moving averages curving up, really, really good sign, right? Almost bounced off the 200 SMA, but never made it. The weekly, as long as we stay above the 200 SMA on the weekly, we are good to go. I also went over when the 21 crosses the 200, and I went over multiple charts. I did it. I probably won't do it again. Go look at my other live streams if possible. We should clip that out if we haven't clipped it out, my team, and get that out as a clip out. But that is a big deal that we are getting the 21 crossing the 200 SMA, soon the 50 to come. Again, it's a latent signal. You'll pump usually, and then it will drag the 50 up, right? Once you get a golden cross on the weekly chart, it's usually a little latent. Usually we haven't gotten one because price hasn't gone this low below the 200 SMA. This is kind of one of the first for Bitcoin. Beautiful buy zone, in my humble opinion. We had the bullish divergence on the weekly that I keep calling is the bottom because you never get it. It's just very rare. for the RSI and for price action to make a strong, and it's such a clean swing down, swing up. It's such a clean bullish divergence. To me, that's your bottom 99%. I'm almost guaranteeing it. I can't guarantee anything in trading, but I'm putting my Sam Price stamp on it and saying that's your good, highly likely, unless, you know, granted we have a massive black swan and the whole world goes to like down a toilet, which I guess fine. Let it happen, you know, but until that happens, you know, as long as we have, you know, even if we have some nasty price action, even if we have like a mini black swan and whatever, it would have, for me to see a lower low for Bitcoin here, I believe we'd have to see like Armageddon or something. I don't know. And at that point, the price of Bitcoin won't matter. So to me, realistically, I just don't see us making a lower low. You know, fine, we may retest 25. Who knows? We did a really good job of getting that low. You have to remember the mentality. Millions of people around the world, billions at this point, know about Bitcoin. And they were told it was going lower. And they didn't buy here. And then it ripped up here. A lot of them were shorting, thinking they could make the money to buy Bitcoin. They lost it all and got liquidated. They come back with their paychecks, right? And they still think it's short. Some people, I'm going to make money this time. They short again, and they get rocked again. Retail gets rocked again, right? Then you got El Capo and all these guys on that are known and respected, that have tons of followers and people really listen, like hundreds of thousands of followers. And he's saying, I'm short. So he's getting tons of people to open up shorts. Now, we took it one day at a time, one level at a time. If it hits this, we'll go here. And we went over Bitcoin every 5 to 7 hours, every single day throughout this entire move. And I tell people, you don't have to know where Bitcoin's going if you're willing to track it every 5 hours. You take up, fine, you go to sleep for a good 8 hours, you miss that section of time. But while you're awake, you're able to spend 10 to 15 minutes on Bitcoin every 5 hours. You're gonna be in a good spot. You're gonna be in a good place. Because every once in a while, it'll make a massive move in a small amount of time. But for the most part, you're going to be pretty in tune with what Bitcoin's going to do. And things aren't going to be that confusing to you, you know. So we have the weekly pointing to the upside. That's a very bullish sign, right? We knew that this was a 68% chance we would break out. I take the length of that whole segment there, and it tells me we go to 44,000. And that's our next big zone of liquidity. And we even have a notch right there. It might even get us up to 47. And we've been talking 47,000 since Bitcoin was like this. I've been projecting this cup and handle for a long time, you know, for a long time. I believe it may be in my profile. Even this one here is interesting. Like, do we get up to 45, make a fallback to 28, and then pump to 63? Just interesting. Cup and handle to 28,000. Just crazy, man, how a lot of the stuff ended up playing out. Just insane. Assets on Phantom are getting pumped because of the non-backed USDC value. Interesting. Good morning, Sam, and all the lifers. The screen share was really cool last night. Thank you, Santiago Escobedo. I appreciate you saying that. God bless you for jumping on in. So the weekly looks good to me. You know what I mean? It does have to reset. It's a little overbought. All right. It was at one point. You know, I'm sorry, I'm messing with you guys, but so the weekly looks good to me, right? It's pointing to the upside here on the stochastics RSI. It has a measured move for me to about 44,000, 47,000, you know, give or take a couple thousand because you're on the weekly chart. But, you know, and you're past this big level of liquidity. And, you know, I always talk about this too, is like, see the slant? Like if you were looking at this sideways and it's slant, I mean, Bitcoin's just going to ride that wave down up to the value area high, you know, and that's just what I see happening for BTC. You know, if I just take a deep breath and look at the bigger picture, weekly looks amazing. It's going to take its time. 8-day looks really hot. 7-day looks good. 5-day approaching some heat. The 3-day chart finally is a little baked, and that's the one thing that I'm watching, right? It's got a lot of wicks, though, either side. Indecision to either way, keeping it kind of trapped. And so it's just been stuck in a range. We've been ranging every 3 days, really, from 29 to, 31, 31.4 back down to 29.4. Then we went from 31.35 to 30,002, 31.6 down to 29.8, right? And so just from the high 29s to the mid 31s, we just keep ranging. I keep talking about the idea that open up a long right here, stop loss below the 200 SMA. It was better right there. That was like the best time, like 6 days ago. And hold that puppy, right? Hold that puppy. Stop loss at like 28,000 now. It would have to be like 28,900, 28,850. And honestly, like there's a high probability we never go back below that 200 SMA, Now, there's also a probability that the 200 SMA bends lower and we hit your stop loss and still don't go below it. But it's unlikely. I've seen it more times than not where the 200 ends up just kind of like, using that, becoming basically the support system here. So just one thing to think about, that this trade is still an open trade, hasn't really changed. You know what I mean? Even if we started here, we still wouldn't have been stopped out. Would have been really close right there, but still would not have happened, So, and that was actually an entry area, So this would be a long-term trade. You'd have to be able to hold this trade. It could, there's that's 9, because each of these is 3 days. That's 9 days for the pump, and the pump may take 9 days. The wait out may take another 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 on either end, and you could be looking at a 2-week, 3-week payout here. But that's just an overall idea. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to revisit it 3, 4, or 5 weeks from now. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to see what happened with that idea. Another thing about the daily is I kept saying is you have to touch the 21-day moving average before you can continue to the upside. That's just it's like a prerequisite. I don't know what it is about it, but it is. Once we pumped up here, you heard me say, Bitcoin's going to have to touch the 21 on the daily. We're really far away. And honestly, usually when it's that far away, you get a falling wedge. Watching how price action and the 21 interact over time can give you a high intuitive incentive that other people can't see as a trader. And there's an edge there. What I mean by this is, because I watch how price action comes back to the 21 so much in my life, Mr. Wolf again with the 10 memberships jumping on in. God bless you for doing that. Unbelievable. 485 people on the live, 205 likes. Let me get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. God bless each and every one of you on this beautiful Friday. All right. Look at all these beautiful souls that just jumped on in and got a green name, Digital C, after I was trading. Been doing great. Been driving cross country last week. My man. God bless you, brother. Sheesh, will bless you, man. People just getting blessed. OMAC got in there. I love that. Storm Trading, FUD Expert. Wow. Lakochi Coker. Man. Happy birthday gift to Daniel Perez, too, on his birthday, man. Jumps on in and gets the green suit. On his birthday suit, he gets the green suit. Funny. Matt Forrest Gump, Hannah King. Wow. Wow. God bless you. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate this. I love the alerts, too. So much fun seeing the alerts coming on in. I love interacting with the chat. We love you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. Thank you for being here. So look, I mean, we kind of have the broadening wedge here too on Bitcoin right now. Technically, like that's, this is the pattern that I'm starting to see. Okay. And I'm realizing it's the 4 hour in a falling wedge. Breaking out as well, right? I didn't see this till it take some time, but this is what's going down. And you gotta, you're getting these broadening, rising wedges really, broadening. It's a broadening wedge, which can be a bullish pattern in the long term. I had one drawn from when we had it earlier that we broke out from, right? Like this one here was the same type of idea as that smaller one now. So I'm bullish on the 4 hour time frame for Bitcoin for a nice pump to the upside here. And honestly, once I turned bullish, the price action's been pumping ever since. Not saying anything, but, I even said, hey, forget that. Just say it's in the wedge, and it's the breakout wedge that comes back inside. And we talk about this a lot. If you're new to this channel, this is something you've probably never seen. It's pretty strange, but it's how I trade. And I can see that it, and this is going to break to the upside, right? Then you look for the divergence. I believe the 15-minute had a really good divergence last night. During the live stream, we were live streaming last night as a group. And I even traded. I opened up a live trade and we hit it together. I don't know if anyone took it with me, but it was just, and that's what happens on the weekly live stream. Together, it's amazing. Shout out to the 500 beautiful souls in the live, 238 likes. Let me get the likes up to the watchers. I would much appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. My name is Sam Price. Nice to meet you. I have a bunch of people who call themselves crypto lifers. We are the crypto lifer. If you ever heard of the crypto lifer group, or you were talking to someone at an AMA and someone mentioned the crypto lifers, my name's Sam. Nice to meet you. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate it. I've been trading for 15 years. I'm 40 years old. When I was 22, 23, I started thinking about becoming, a multimillionaire and dreaming about becoming a billionaire and thinking about what it would take. I started researching people that with billions of dollars. I started watching what I could here and there. Didn't know much. YouTube wasn't that, I can't remember when YouTube first came out, but I have to say I didn't get heavy into YouTube till 2007, I'd say. Maybe 2008. But once YouTube was out there, started watching YouTube a lot, started learning, met all different types of mentors that, didn't personally meet them in person, but I got to meet them online and find out what made them tick. Started realizing who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, and realized that trading was cool. I love the idea of money, investing in money, and then I learned that I started researching billionaires, and I learned that you don't make money just going to work. You have to have 7 streams of income. You have to work on creating 7 streams of income. And once you can have 7 streams, and there's nothing is actual passive income. But right now, I go online and people can watch my videos while I'm asleep in another country. You know what I mean? You set up ways where you can continuously, recreate your business no matter where it is. That's what and then I learned about online too. All these millionaires and billionaires use the online. I said, man, you got to use the internet. The internet is the key. And I kept, thinking about that over and over again. I was like, so you got an entrepreneur, you got to have multiple streams of income, you got to use the internet. Then I found cryptocurrency, but even before that, I was trading gold and silver. And on top of all this, I studied fiat currency, and I learned that they printed to zero over time. And I started being like, okay. And this kind of formed who I was in a way, because then I started talking about these things all the time, and people looked at me like I was nuts. And I started getting alienated kind of a little bit from, the general society, because no one was going to talk about inflation with me at lunch at the office space. And I was like, but they're printing our money to zero. Don't you get it? And people just thought it was a conspiracy theory. And at times I did too. I was stuck. And I kept realizing it and thinking about it. And eventually I was like, no, this is real. And I kept listening to Jim Rickards and other people and economists. And I eventually was like, wow. And then I watched, Money Masters, the documentary you have to see on YouTube. And then I also watched The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. Next thing you know, I'm watching Peter Schiff. He's saying there's going to be a housing crisis. We get it. It's 2008, right? I'm 25 years old. I start buying gold and silver bars. Then I realized that you can only take it so far because it's heavy. And so then I start trading gold and silver on the New York Stock Exchange, JNUG and JDST. Then I eventually open up an account on the Toronto Stock Exchange and I start trading silver mining stocks. I get into one silver mining stock that turns $2,500 into almost 10 grand. I then flip 6 grand of that money into Canopy Grow Corp, and that would go into it did an amazing job. I sold it about a 20x, it did a 30x, and I didn't sell all of it, and I sold it in sections, but it was a big hit for me. And then I found out what Bitcoin was, started researching it, and then and then I got into trading cryptocurrency, and so my life was just this. I look back now and I can't believe it, because things that I was doing, just dabbling outside of work, became my story. But at the time, I thought no one would know about those things. They were just these side hustles that I had, and I had a career. But they became my story. They became my life. It became who I am now. just those beliefs, those imaginations, those ideas, those moments in back in the day in that one-bedroom apartment in Queens, believing that there was something that I could do to change my life. Not knowing exactly what it could be, but knowing that I needed to use the internet. I know I needed to get myself motivated. Know I needed to get myself out of depression. I knew I needed to start working out and get myself moving. Everyone I noticed that was successful was working out daily, taking care of their physical body. And I said, man, getting off the alcohol, getting off the drugs. And I started realizing, man, there's a way out of this. And, because I was depressed for years. I worked the night shift. I was isolated. It hasn't always been the Crypto Lifer show. I'll tell you that. And, I used to do a lot more of this on the show, revisit these dark times and kind of discuss kind of where I came from and what happened. And, I fell through a glass door, which I used to talk about a lot more. Was right by my main artery there, this big scar here on my wrist. And I basically should be dead. I should have bled out in the street, but I didn't, and I realized that God had a plan for me and there was more coming my way. And my dad too, always a spiritual man. He was like a chieftain. A chieftain was very similar to like a Native American chief, but in my people, in the Celtic people, the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, like we had chieftains back. And a chieftain was like an old sage who kind of studied the ocean and the seas and the stars, and you could go to for advice and took care of the tribe, right? And my dad was like a chieftain in my humble opinion. He taught me about sailing. He never really, it's funny, he grew up hard and his dad was a bricklayer. My dad started working young, 17, 18, but my dad was like, by the time I was 18, I had my own car, I had my own apartment, I had moved out of my house. It's like I couldn't live, me and my dad didn't get along. And like his mom passed away when he was older. So he just, when he was 28 years old, his mom passed away. So he lost his mom young. My dad didn't have what I had. Him and his dad didn't have the best relationship, and his mom passed away when he was 28. So, he loved his dad and all that, but, funny, he would still eventually move in with his dad when he was older. And that's where I would start my life, in my grandfather's house in this town that I live in right now, in Boston. And my grandfather moved to this town in 1940, had my dad in 1946. And my grandfather was a bricklayer, right? So like I sit here now, suited up, pocket squared up, and I come from bricklayers. My dad was an iron worker. And I'm no moon boy, you know what I mean? I'm about to grind, man, every single day. Every single day. And every single thing I have, I'm blessed to have. And so today was a day of remembering. The 77 days hit me hard. And I just, and we've been hitting the trade. We hit the trade this morning. Despite the insanity, I was able to see through the insanity and still open up a long. I still had the clarity and the vision, and I'm just so blessed to know each and every one of you. And so I'm looking for some type of consolidation here for Bitcoin, preferably on the 15, right, where this 21 can come up and kiss price action. And then if we can get the 15 back above the 200 SMA, we got the rounded bottom with the divergence again. Same story as we've had these divergences here. These are all liquidation moments. Every time you see these wicks and you see the divergence, like look, swing down to swing down, swing up. That was a liquidation moment. All right. Same thing here. So definitely studying the liquidity is so important. All right. And that brings me to like slapping on the liquidation indicator and seeing what we got going on. All right. And wow, we got a lot more longs still that may have to get pounced on, right? The 100Xs are pretty close to the bone at this point. They got some shorts too. I would say that the longs are a little thicker than the shorts though. But, like there's some more to do. Like they got to go back and get more of these longs. That's what it says, Kind of goes against my thesis, but that's what it says. I'm just, doesn't have to be exact and doesn't have to be forever, So I'm watching the 15-minute now go sideways. 2 to 3 candles, which will take 2 candles is a half an hour. So we're hoping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 to 6 candles, I'd say. An hour to an hour and a half. Hey, Lifer, can we check out the charts on ORAI? Any thoughts on the company? We'll take a look. Thank you, Robs. So we got to check out the DXY, taking a nosedive as we speak. We'll take a look at the DXY. And that's what's supposed to happen by our calculations, too. All right. So 11 o'clock, and so we kind of see so I took profits on the trade. Shout out to anyone that did that if you were in the trading group. So we took care of, I just want to make sure people in the trading group, too, they're they're with me, and I'm going over kind of what happened. Just leave them hanging like I'm long and then just not say a word. So, yeah. And wow, I mean, even this little flag broke out here. See, this is a flag too. See, my system's just obsessively understanding that price action can't move however it wants. Like, price action's not water. It can't just like it has to either fall, make a divergence with an inverted head and shoulder. You know what I mean? A descending triangle. Like, it can't do, and I realized this one day, and it hit me, and it was like, it like spoke to me. It was like, price action can't do whatever it wants, Sam. It just can't, And there's days when the 4-hour just takes over and starts to rip, and it makes big, huge green candles in the 4, and it doesn't really matter what other time frames are doing. The 4-hour will just rip in your face, and today it looks like one of those days, like we're going to make it back to the top of this range. I'm getting rid of this other, So I'm long 4-hour right now, back to the top of the range. I got the trade on MEXC right here. It's in profit, right? I'm out of the trade right now. I sold pretty close to the top where we're at, so I'm watching that 15-minute to get back inside the trade. But the general idea is this on the 4-hour time frame. The measured move takes us to 32,700. Not saying we'll get there. I'd be looking to take a good chunk of profits off when we hit the top of this way, when we hit the top of the range. 31,005, right? Let's get into super chats. I think we've got Bitcoin pretty handled right now. For now, you never know. I was looking to see if we were going to get this outside pump, which we're getting now. And I'm trying to find the time frame that's allowing it. Yeah, it's the 5-minute busting out the wedge. See that? We're looking for some consolidation on the 15. Back to the 21-day. Anyway, the smaller time frames could continue to pump, but this is what I'm looking for here. We've gone to a high of 30,443 on the day. We called along at 9:19 a.m. and really about a few minutes later, the long would start to play out to the upside. One thing that I, also seeing here, you got a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, and you're breaking out of an inverted head and shoulder. Measured move is a little further up because you would take the wick to the wick here and then swing it to the shoulder. And that does give you about 30,750, which coincides with some, your previous kind of bounce area there. And that's also my measured move out of the ascending triangle. So that's my next plan for a long, is to see if this 15-minute can play out and touch the 21. If it can touch the 21, I'll take a trade up to the upside. Could take anywhere between 4 and 6 15-minute candles. Right now, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I'd say anywhere between 45 and 2 hours and 15 minutes. Somewhere in there, I should be able to get my answer as to what if this is going to play out and look more like a continuation pattern or not. And to me, it's just that simple. Okay. All right. Shout out to everybody here on live stream. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. God bless you all. Episode 926 as we approach 1,000 episodes. 1,000 episodes. That's crazy. 1,000 episodes. Never thought in a million years. 1,000 straight episodes. Sam Price. But God bless you all for being here. Thank you for jumping on into the live. One thing if you want to join the trading group, I highly suggest you do. It's a great place to be, full of positive and amazing people that'll change your life. I've seen people change their lives together. I've watched people interact with each other, and that's changed my life. You know what I mean? 1,000 incoming. Shout out to my man. But join the trading group. Hit MEXC. I do get an awesome affiliate commission if you hit MEXC and join the trading group. So jump on in. We trade on MEXC all the time. It has 0 spot maker and taker fees. That's why MEXC is really awesome. You know, and I don't know how long they're going to keep that up. I'm using it I just think it's amazing. It's not a bull run where prices are super high. Prices are the smallest they'll ever be. Like, right, we don't know, but right now prices are definitely undervalued. They're not overvalued, right? You're kind of near the other end of the spectrum. And you have 0 spot maker and taker fees right now, and 0 spot futures. So if you want to make some money trading futures, to swing trade other things, or to maybe build bags of long-term holds, that's what I like to do personally. It's so set up so nicely. MEXC is the place to trade, and it has great liquidity. I get in and out, and it works for me. So MEXC is the place to trade. And link right there if you want to jump on in. It's super easy. All right. Link right there. Hit the Discord or hit the MEXC link right there. You have to know your support of resistances, stochastics, RSI, and TA tools. Also a Brucey boy, but I don't quite understand the question. The trading group changed my life. Jump on in. Discord. Lakochi Coker. Amen. Join the trading group. You will learn endless knowledge and support life changing. Amen. Shout out to James Wozniak. God bless you for saying that. Episode 999 is going to be epic. Up 200% on my long. Shout out to James Schwiggen Jr., my man. Wow. So many new people I'm seeing lately. Shout out to FUD Expert. Shout out to XRP Boricua Army. Ooh, I like that. Shout out to the Boricuas in the house. Roberto Boricua Morena. Roberto Vermouth. Maybe start of the end of the dollar, but will take a generation for it to fall. Let's take a look at our DXY and start moving ahead. But, you know, we got Bitcoin wrapped up in a bow for now. Second I say that, watch. But so far, so good. And we called along. What else can we do for you? Everyone in the trading group that was privy to the long, I opened it at a perfect time. And we're in the money right now on that long. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Nothing more I like to see than a bunch of red candles on the DXY. Right? All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. If you're new to the channel, we go over the DXY probably every single day. We also go over the stock market, S&P, NASDAQ futures. So if you trade the stock market, great place to come and check it out. I attempt every morning when Bitcoin's not out of control and has to be kind of tackled to go over those 5 big assets really quick in the morning. But so here's the DXY. It's in a symmetrical triangle. It's inside of a bigger wedge. Here's the top. There's the bottom. To me, that's the top. So like I see it this way. Came to the top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range. And I'm just waiting for it to fill out the range like it's supposed to and end up here somewhere at 9.7. Where Bitcoin can pump nicely to that 38,000, 42,000 area. It all makes sense, right? Everything makes sense. You know, creatively, I mean, I can see this is a shoulder, this is a head, and that is a right shoulder. Nice dump to the downside. So right off the bat, I like that. That's cool. The 22-hour still has more downside, as you can see, pointing to the downside. The daily's just getting started and wants to dump on you. And you have a lower, a high, a low, a lower high. You would expect a lower low, all right? Just, and here, even here, look, you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high. You would expect eventually a lower low. The one thing that we were somewhat afraid of was this like Adam and Eve double bottom. But the second we broke down here, but then it was a cup and handle. But I said, all right, and we drew the symmetrical triangle, and I said, fine, then this line has to hold. And we have to get rejected, and then we have to maybe go up and down, and we have to break to the downside. And I would love it if we don't break this trend line that I see. And all those things so far have happened as if someone else was drawing the same pattern. Isn't that... You ever draw your pattern and then you see how price action hits it exactly and it just bugs you out. You're like, how? Like, it's just the fact that so many other people are seeing what you're seeing, and the bots are trading inside the ranges and it's playing out, right? So I guess if you have an analytical algorithmic mind, you can kind of see what an algorithm might see in a way too. Never underestimate how insanely powerful the human brain is. You know, I get it. You can't go against 10 AI computers, supercomputers, but we can see things that computers can't see. We can extrapolate information in far unique ways that, you know, scientists still can't fully understand. So there's your 4 hour pounding down. It could still dump on us. 1 hour, nice dump for the dollar. And so what we look at for like some type of bear flag on the smaller time frame. Obviously that bears the bullish divergence. Right now it's not amazing. It is showing signs of making some type of bear flag. And again, it's just like when you trade long, you wait for the 21 to touch price action. 21 touches. And this would also be another indication for me to open up that long for Bitcoin. So nice dump for the dollar. There was some volatility this morning. Someone tried to save it on a pump up and it just got sold off. Too many people wanted to sell it off. And you know what could happen too is international businessmen could coordinate to do like a group sell off of the dollar. You know, they could be like, all right, today we're all going to just, you know, and they could get things in line first where they don't need it, like bricks and all this other stuff. And the more they have other options, the more this type of stuff could happen, right? We're going to get a V-shaped recovery on the 5 minute right now, or are we going to just kind of get rejected and stay inside of a flag? That's the question. So I watch the smaller time frames, but so far so good on the dollar index. And what I want to see is I want to see us eventually either coil back up here, which is fine, and eventually break to the downside out of the symmetrical triangle. I would love it if we start the breakdown here, retest, and continue to the downside. All right. So that's something on my radar that I'm watching closely. Saw people trade in Ocean, looking at Ocean for a move. I mean, I like this nice flag. One of the few things that's in a healthy flag. 6 hour looks pretty nice to me. I like trading the 8 hour too. It's a pretty good time frame, pretty solid. And you got, you know, it's looking somewhat like Bitcoin, but with more aggressive, in my opinion, more aggressive tightness. You know, you could almost say that's a fake out, break back out. And right now it's breaking out. It's been pumping. Yeah, match it right there. You got to, to me, it's a falling wedge. Okay. Possibly 136%. And this is AI coin too as well. And that's technically a giant cup and handle too. So I like what I'm seeing for Ocean. Ocean could make some gains. Look at the 1 hour time frame. It's a little overbought. 4 hour also getting a little there. Indifferent between like leaving that out or bringing that back in. You know, like it hits a few times there, fell out, fell back inside. For me, it's like it's a buy zone. Like I set alerts and look for buy zones in this area for Ocean. Even the daily looks like it could get some more legs to the upside as well. Ocean. Looking interesting to me. I set alerts on the buy zone. If we get up in there and I get a nice alert, that looks like it could be a nice swing trade. So I like setting up the trade days before the trade. You see? Sometimes it's 7 hours. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 days. It all depends, you know. Ocean can make some nice gains though. I would set alerts on it. If you're in my trading group, you don't know how to set alerts. Find the alert section in the group, the learning area. All right. That's the spot. That is the spot. God bless each and every one of you. Cass getting a nice move. SOL up a lot on the daily. All-time high for SOL after November 22nd. FTX. I kind of agree with Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf 69. I don't know what. I can't follow through with all the chats. Solana will never reach an all-time high. I mean, you never know, right? I'm personally not a fan. You know, I don't want to get hated on. I'm not a fan, but you never know. Anything could happen. Crazy high MAYC just got completely swatted to a new low. That's insane. People are like, yes, and then no. High coins are crazy, though. Just be careful. NFB. Bitcoin Cash. 3L. Let's take a look at this. This looks interesting to me. Bitcoin pops back to the top of that channel. Bitcoin Cash breaking out. This looks like it's going to continue to rip, honestly. It's on KuCoin and on MEXC. Could also probably be traded on MEXC, just futures. But that daily looks nice, right? 12-hour looks like it could rip too. Breaking out, kind of like doing a retest thing. 4 hours a little high for me, and the chart looks wacky. Bigger time frames look nice though. This is a bit of a flag. What I do like is you're pretty close to the 21-day moving average though. So this is interesting to me. I'm gonna put an alert here. I want to watch this throughout the day. My trader instinct tells me that this will be a swing trade throughout the weekend possibly. And Bitcoin Cash ain't done on a move. All right, let's take a look at all the super chats. God bless everyone that sent in the super chat. We love you. Thank you. We got LINA. All right. We got DXY, which we did talk about. We got ORAI. And we got OP. So we got LINA and OP, and then we'll get into ORAI. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate all the new people here on the live. I see a bunch of new faces and people. That's awesome. So even despite the market being a little iffy and sticky, people still jumping on into the live. We appreciate that. On the summer months, a lot of people with their kids. It's a Friday. People take Friday off. They go travel and they go places, right? It's July in the summertime, you know? So most people aren't going to grind like me every single day of the year. I don't know how I do it. Now I look back on the years and I'm like, how... It has changed my thought process because like normally in the summer, I would take a couple weeks off, sometimes a month off. And I would just know that I'm off for a month. And every day would just be like, kind of like chill, like just, you know. And I could do whatever I wanted any day. I didn't have to be on camera, right? I could sleep late. I usually woke up early every summer day though. I wake up at like 6:37 in the morning in the summertime because I love being outside. I love the smell of I love the morning. I get this like sad feeling when the morning ends. It's so weird, right? I shouldn't. It's not really a sad feeling. I mean, the day is there, but if I wake up at like 5:36 and I go on like a walk and I see the ocean or I do something early, like, you know, in nature, and then next thing you know, the day goes on and then it's like 9 or 10 and there's this like morning mist. There's a coolness to the morning. There's a freshness to the air in the morning, and it burns off and it changes, and then you're just like, oh, like, I kind of like, you know, these are thoughts with Sam Price, deep thoughts with Sam Price on a Friday, you know. LINA getting tighter inside of this channel. Moving averages are tight. It is below the 200 SMA, something to be kind of thought about. But, you know, it's showing some signs of getting coiled up and tight inside this range. That's a falling wedge that could break up 68% of the time. It was fun to trade, had a lot of liquidity the last few weeks, up and down. Now it's been kind of quiet and more sideways, gaining some traction, finding its bottom area, right? We take a look at the daily, and the daily also suggests a possible move. You pull a fib on it, and it's kind of weird because I guess you could pull a fib here on this mini area and see that you're back at a 618. Because, like, you go from here to there and then see, you know, you're at it with 706 on the fib, which ain't bad. Pattern is really strange, not perfect at all. Symmetrical triangle, though, could break up 50-50. If it breaks down, though, you're talking like negative numbers, so the likelihood of that happening isn't happening. So the measured move really can't occur this way. You'd look for it to break out and get above this point of control. The point of control is 014058, right? You could aggressively enter now on the daily, which looks pretty nice for a pump to the upside for sure. LINA, but you never know. Stop loss, you know, you kind of have to look at this area here. Previous bounce becomes resistance, fell through. Do you come down and bounce off that area first too? Like, you may want to challenge that region. Daily looks good to me though, and you have falling volume with falling price, which is a really good sign that you're losing sellers. and you will look for some type of reversal. And the mini fib line here at that 706 is also encouraging for a pump. So I like it. The 1 hour is a little overbought for me. I'd be waiting for it to cool off with an alert down here. And then I'd also just throw an alert somewhere on the chart just whenever price action passes it, just to let me know what's going on with LINA when it happens. Keeps getting tighter in that little cone. And if you can get to that, again, that 4 hour, or was it? I think it was the daily. Yeah, you want to see the daily get above that point of control right there, 014228. Really, that's a key moment. You get above there, you can fly back up to 27 again, and LINA could be a fun little play. It is on a slight uptrend, as you can see, like slowly. It doesn't look amazing, but, you know, low, high. It is making higher lows over and over again. So LINA's on the radar with an alert too. Thank you for doing that. So LINA's on my radar. Just, you know, if you're not if you're not able to watch the live stream, you're at work. I like to post things into the trading group. You know, that way people get access to both things. Not everyone can watch. Not everyone can be in the trading group. I try to do the best I can to make people happy either way. Hook you up for free, and, you know, but again, you wouldn't have seen the call this morning on Bitcoin, right? You wouldn't have been able to see last night when we traded it live in the trading group. Like, so just, you know, you'll miss out on other opportunities, but, you know, again, I want to make you I want to help you become financially free through the live stream. And then once you get there and get more confident in the technical analysis, then you can come on into the trading group, right? And that's always been the ethos here at the Crypto Lifer channel, is that we give you the value first. If you want to give value back to me, that's what happens. That's how I built what I have today, is by giving value away, and people just send the value right back. Okay. Optimism in this giant falling wedge. What you're looking for is some type of bullish divergence. We have a pretty, you know, this is like a class B. I'll take it. It's pretty flat on the daily with a sharp downtrend. That's a pretty decent divergence. That to me is saying, hey, that's a pretty good bottom area, right? So we want to kind of zoom in, bit of a shoulder head and a right shoulder too in a way. And then we've got this kind of forming a bit of a flag that you would like to see it keep. And it's your first higher low. You know, you've had these low, lower low, lower low, higher low. Can you put in a higher high, right? So you really want to watch the trend. You put a higher high and then the higher low. This would be a key entry for optimism. It would just show me that it broke out of the support and then it was starting a new uptrend. And then you got a gap in the VRVP here. You did bounce off the point of control. Look at that wick right there, which was a similar area of support. And so that has shown 91 cents is to be strong. So you don't have a lot of downside, you know, I guess, you know, 30 cents, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have a lot of downside. I like what I'm seeing for optimism on the daily time frame. 3-day chart's a little baked for me. 4-hour time frame looks good for a possible move to the upside as well. And the 1-hour time frame is overbought. All right. So I'm looking for some type of move here on the 4-hour time frame for optimism, all right, inside of this falling wedge. Even if you just swung trade it back to the top of the channel, if Bitcoin gets the move, the whole market's going to kind of, and optimism could just be a swing trade from 117 or 120 up to like 129, right? So there's a possible swing trade in there. The bigger idea is to wait for it to breach this, get up back above it, come back down for that low, and makes that higher low. That would be the key entry for me personally for optimism. I just DCA into this and buy it long term. I don't really swing trade it, but maybe if I see a swing trade, I'll take it. You know, I'll take whatever I can get. I'll take whatever the market gives me at the time. All right. ORAI, says my man. Let's take a look at ORAI. And every time I do TA on a coin, it may not be your coin, but hopefully I stumble upon something that's worth talking about or showing. And that moment of that super chat becomes a teaching moment. And that's what this whole thing is about. I go over the super chats and they just become teaching moments. They're unique times because I don't know what the coin looks like or what's happening. So you see my mind at work, which is fun for me as a person because I don't like the same job every day. Like, yes, I like showing up every day to my channel may be the same, but it's never going to be the same coin. It's never going to be the same setup. Bitcoin's never going to be doing exactly the same thing. There's always going to be something different happening on the channel every single day. And that's, I believe, why I love what I do, because I never wanted a job that had that, that monotony. I wanted something that could challenge me daily. And it could never be already written. I had to recreate myself daily, which is like the hardest thing in the world. Like, I was like, I have to have the hardest thing to be fulfilled. And I was like, what? So crazy. And that's why I believe in God, because I couldn't have written a better place or purpose for me than to be here with each and every one of you right now, and I don't know what the future fully holds, but I have thoughts and plans of where I can take it. And with God's submission to God and God's grace, I'll see where it can go, and I'm excited to be here with each and every one of you every day. It's just a blessing. ORAI in this falling wedge looking really nice. All right. Oversold on the MACD. Kind of lack of momentum either way in the MACD, which is interesting. Do we have a good divergence to kind of stand off? Let's look at our 4-hour time frame. You had one right there, swing down with a sharp swing up, which could have been your bottom. You're trying to revisit it again, but you don't really have any bullish divergence there. You have the low, shoulder head, and kind of a right shoulder. This is AI coin for tokenized assets, which I'm interested in. He said you want to look at the company. What have they been up to? I'll tell you what, man, this Pepe 2.0 just continues to be hot. We're going to take a look at it in a little while if you stay tuned. And we're also going to bring you the news in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned for that as well. So ORAI, whenever I want to really deep dive something, I want to go to the Reddit, go to the Twitter, see what they've been tweeting recently too, right? Look, their last pin tweet was December 15th. That gets me a little upset. You know what I mean? Because like, even if this was what you want to retweet, repin it every week. Show me that, you know what I mean? When you pin something and it's been pinned since December, I mean, that's been 6 months. I mean, is it its roadmap? Visions align with AI data blockchain that will harmoniously power the future of Web3. Look no further but the handy infographic of ORAI ecosystem. ORAI ecosystem in a nutshell. I guess they don't want to change that, but all right, right here. Quantitative trading strategies demystified. Your roadmap to success, part 1. ORAI and Nest Quant. Learn how these strategies work and their impact on trading. Show more. That's awesome. Like, that would get me going. I'm like, yeah, I want to know more. Read here at Academy Quantitative. Interesting. AI Academy. I like that. And we've gone to Academy a bunch of times because I know I see the text, I'm not going to sit here and read quantitative trading strategies, but this is something you may want to know. And I'll post this into the chat here. I want to read that. I'm going to probably have to spend some time reading that today. It is what it is. Thank you for going down the rabbit hole with me there. Now, ORAI, I like it because it's got AI. Market cap's super small, super high risk. AI and big data, DeFi, oracles, Cosmos ecosystem, and it's got a $5.1 million market cap. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Anything with the AI number attached to it could do numbers. This is something I would throw a very little bit amount of money at and see where it goes. I own ORAI, just so you know, make it really clear. And I did buy it, and I bought some at $4, some at $3, you know what I mean? And I've been DCAing tiny bits of it. I haven't bought a lot in a while, though. It's kind of making me think maybe time to buy a little bit of ORAI. But I don't want too much of it. I'm just trying to take a gamble on a tiny, tiny market cap. So max supply, very small, 19 million. I mean, that's just smaller than Bitcoin, which is pretty interesting. That's wow. That gets me going. It's kind of why I like Zcash. It's another reason why I like coins with small
You know, EGLD, people don't realize this about EGLD, Metaverse X. I own it. I love it. Big market cap, bigger coin. But total supply, 25 million. Max supply, 31 million. Very small circulating supply for EGLD, all right? Might want to write that down. Quant, same thing, right? Quant has a very small supply. Like, understanding these ideas is important, right? So ORAI, I mean, I'd have to deep dive the team right now. I don't know if I want to be doing that for the next 30 minutes. It's a pretty big ask. The company seems okay. I don't know. I was told they were rug pulled by VCs and to be careful too, by someone that I knew. And it looked like they did exactly that. And it was rug pulled and sent to the bottom. Does that mean it can't recover after a new cycle? No. It can. So, but, I don't know enough really about the team. I'm really more going on the fact that it's got AI in the name with ORAI, but ORAI, is really the idea there. ORAI AI. But, and that it could pump when the whole AI sector pumps pretty hard. And it's at a very low value area, right? So I see a giant cup and handle. I've been watching it for a while since the handle was here. It's been continuing further down. Has strong support. If it breaks that, it's going all the way back to the bottom at 123. Could that happen? Very well may. How many people care or hold about ORAI? You don't hear about it a lot. It doesn't have a huge buzz. I have to be honest. As much as I hold it and I think it's cool, to me, it's an extreme gamble. Extreme gamble. And it could go to zero easily. Right now, what do I see happening for ORAI? I mean, it had that 4-hour divergence. Really wasn't enough that I wanted to see in the present moment. Right there, it had a little bit of divergence in the 4-hour, right in that section. But it's pretty low right now. I wouldn't touch it or swing trade it till I could see it break back above this level, unless I so much believed in the project that I just felt like it was awesome, But I would wait for it to get back and retest 319, and then that's when I would feel more confident about swinging it. For now, it could do a bearish retest and come further down. Could be a good short opportunity if it loses this level. And it does call out to me kind of like a shoulder ahead and a right shoulder that could break down. For ORAI, all right? Bitcoin so far doing what it does, just kind of channeling the way I want it to channel, which I'm happy about, and setting up for a possible big move to about 30,750 later on today. That's what I'm looking for. All right, and it's 11:30. Let's pop into that news. Let's get that news crack-a-lacking for you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Hold on, we'll wait a second here so I can do it right. But I'll be back with the news in a split second. Let's take a look here at what's going on with the news. Make sure I get it where I want it. And we don't want to spoil all the news, but we got some cool news coming off. Right? And yeah, FUD all day long. There's all sorts of FUD recently. I don't listen to it. It's a bunch of nonsense. So it is what it is. You got to stay strong. Stay in your conviction. All right? One thing I also want to talk about is ITrust Capital. Just did an awesome partnership with ITrust Capital. They're amazing. And what you can do is you can roll over your Roth IRA into an ITrust Capital IRA, and you can trade your crypto in it tax-free. It will take you, 59 and a half years old when you access your money. It's a future idea. But to me, it's a cool place to diversify. And I thought, 20,000, 5,000, 10,000. No, small limit, I believe. Minimum is like $1,500 you can put inside of the Roth IRA. So if you already have a Roth IRA, you can convert it over to your ITrust Capital account. And the people there are amazing. It's backed 1-to-1 by the state in case anything ever happened. It's probably one of the safest places to put your money, in my humble opinion. And they're also got all the regulatory framework taken care of. They're regulated. They've gone through every single fine tooth idea that you have to, and they do everything by the book, is what I'm saying. And you're going to be kind of in great hands, especially if you're in the United States. It's for U.S. customers. ITrust Capital, jump in today. There is a banner there at the bottom corner of the screen, as you can see. Shout out to ITrust Capital. We love you, and we thank you for the partnership. So let's move on to the news. Shout out to everybody here on the live stream. My name is Samuel James Price, and every single day I do a live stream, and we go over the news all the time. and we do a show called the Crypto Lifer Show. And the news kind of, it talks about what's happening in the market. Is the SEC going after an exchange? What exchange? Is it going to affect liquidity and volume? These things have happened. We've seen them. So I don't trade news. The charts will show us if something bad is going to happen or not, usually beforehand. But the news then follows through with that information, and you can see the sentiment throughout the world. So without further ado, let's jump on into the news today on this beautiful Friday, July 7th of 2023. Binance CEO CZ brushes off news of top executive departures. Binance General Counsel Hang Ng, Chief Strategy Officer Patrick Hillman, and Senior Vice President for Compliance Steve Christie are among those that left the company, reportedly over the exchange's handling of the DOJ investigations. Departures of key executive personnel from Binance are part of the company's usual turnover staff, tweeted by Friday by CZ. More FUD about some departures. Yes, there is turnover at every company, but the reasons dreamed up by the news are completely wrong, CZ tweeted. As markets and the global environment for crypto exchanges, as our organization evolves, and as personal situations change, there's turnover at every company. The world's largest crypto exchange is facing heat from regulators across the world, with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filing a lawsuit against the firm, and CZ for breaking several security laws. Earlier, Fortune reported that high-profile personnel in senior leadership positions, including Chief Strategy Officer Patrick Hillman and Senior Director of Investigations Matthew Price, had left the company because of CZ's response to an ongoing investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice. Hillman tweeted he was leaving the exchange on good terms, and it's simply time for me to move on to the next challenge. Bloomberg also reported that Yibo Ling, Binance's chief business officer, has left the company, and U.S. staff are being asked to relocate offshore or be laid off. Interesting. Be kind of nice, though. Like, hey, why don't you come leave this city that you're in and kind of move to Barbados? Like, I wonder where offshore they're going to. BNB Binance Exchange token is down 2.4% at $233, So what's my take on this? Well, the thing about it is they are pretty high up. I like CZ. He usually doesn't BS, and he's probably right. It may be a mix of both. Some people were leaving anyway. Maybe one or two decided to leave, or maybe one person decided to leave, and the other people were already going to leave, and it gets into a mixed bag. That's kind of what I believe happened. They are pretty high up at a time when things are pretty nitty-gritty. You think you kind of wait a little bit just so people don't speculate, because you already know that that's what people are going to do when you leave, right? So even just by leaving, you kind of are saying something, even if you're not. You guys tell me what you think, but that's how I take a look at that. So, it definitely bears, me to pay attention, but I don't worry about CZ. He has so many people lined up that would love to work for Binance. It's one of the biggest companies in the world at this point. It's the biggest exchange, cryptocurrency exchange in the world. And, there's people lined up to work for him. Smart mind, innovative people that really like what he's doing too. So I have no worry and true faith. All the dips for BNB for me are for buying, personally. BNB, great coin that probably will do well again in the next run. Considering they've already enhanced it and they've done some of those cool upgrades too to make it even faster than it used to be. And it already beat out, Ethereum. You could do all the same DeFi transactions on Ethereum for way less money. It was quicker. It was more enjoyable because of that. You didn't have to sit there and wait and wonder. BNB. U.S. added 209,000 jobs in June, missing expectations for 230. The unemployment rate fell to 3.6 versus 3.7 in May, against expectations for 3.6. The U.S. added 209,000 jobs in June, slightly missed expectations for 230,000, and down from a downwardly revised 306,000 in May. So what this says is the economy is weaker than we thought, which makes it dump. But then it also means that, maybe they won't raise rates, which makes the market pump. It's really strange. It's almost like we want unemployment to go down. We want there to be a recession so the markets can pump. But if we're in a recession, how come the markets pump? But they have to raise the rates because we don't want to be in a recession, because inflation, we're in kind of a pickle right now. I believe that the Federal Reserve overreacted to the pandemic as if it was through their numbers and their metrics. I believe they're also behind the 8 ball each time. And even though they think they can speculate how much what they do ripples back into the market, I don't think you can ever be too sure exactly how that works, because it depends how many people on the earth, how many jobs are moving, what's happening, sectors where money is flowing. Like, there's so many other, I think, outliers behind that. And so this jobs report was bad in a way, and good for the markets technically, because we didn't gain as many jobs as we should have, because basically, the point is, if there's more people spending money, right, buying everything out there, then it's going to add to more inflation. So he's trying to stop the flow of money to bring down inflation by stopping jobs. It's kind of weird. And indirectly, that's not what he wants to do, but that's what has to happen. And it's what we've seen before. In addition to the 33,000 downward revision in May job gains, April's job ads were revised by lower by 77,000 to 217,000. Oh, wow, you got a Sharky for mommy? Yeah. You can play in the pool with that. Yeah. Okay, baby, I love you. So, with plenty of economic data still to come in July, today's release marks the last national employment report before the Federal Reserve's late June interest rate policy meeting. Prior to these latest numbers, markets were pricing a near certainty of a central bank resuming hikes at that meeting. So, we want to see the CME watch tool here and just take a look at what it's saying. And we want to just see, what went on here. So to me, and they've been pretty accurate, this has been spot on, it's given us a 94% chance of a rate hike up, 0.25 basis points. So that's what it says happening. We're going to go up 0.25 basis points, and it is what it is. We kind of already foresaw this already because the week that we didn't raise rates was the same week that the Bank of Canada did raise rates, and I believe the European Bank as well, central bank. So they were raising rates, so it was almost like a game of cat and mouse. And if they were raising rates, then why wouldn't we? And then that pushed me to the same idea that we would start seeing rates raise again. So, just things to think about. Bond token slumps 10% as Barnbridge faces SEC investigation. All work on Barnbridge-related projects should stop, an appointed legal counsel said in Discord message viewed by CoinDesk. Team members of the decentralized finance protocol Barnbridge are being investigated by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in the latest regulatory tussle faced by a crypto company in the country. Barnbridge offers interest rate swaps that allow for an invariable yield offered by crypto platforms such as Aave or Compound to be swapped to a fixed rate. And at just over 1.2 million locked tokens as of Friday, at its peak, the protocol held 500 million in users' assets. I'm letting you know that the Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating Barnbridge DAO and individuals associated with the DAO, wrote Douglas Park, duly elected legal counsel to Barnbridge DAO in a Discord message on Friday morning. Barnbridge bond token slumps over 10%, followed the Discord message posted by Park. Because the SEC investigation is ongoing and non-public, I am limited to the information I will share publicly. Interesting.
If you're happy with it, this is your permit, because if you close, this isn't closed. You have an open permit, you would be able to sell your house. Okay?
So bond token slumps. Interesting. More regulatory framework coming. More regulatory framework coming. All right. I hear someone at the door with my wife, and it's always weird when someone's at the door. It's like, what are they talking about? Anyway, let's get back into the regular. But that's the news, everybody. Everyone, that is the news. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. I go live every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see you there. The Crypto Lifer. Are you a Crypto Lifer? Become one today. Start watching the channel and deep dive with me. All right. So we're just going to watch this here on the 7-minute time frame. It's really the 15 that I'm more interested in, because I want to see that 21 touch price action, and I want to see if I can get myself into a long here out of this consolidation. And even on a low liquidity Friday, we may get that move to the upside. All right. Shout out to all the super chats. God bless each and every one of you. Shout out to everyone that gifted memberships. Abdominal Breadman, Spaghetti Rigetti gifted 1 membership. You're the man. Mr. Wolf gifted 10 more. Unbelievable. So many people got down and got in. Crypto Surfer, shout out to you, man. Lifer to the Super Bowl and wins 333. God bless you, brother. God bless each and every single one of you. All right, Sammy is a G in his palace. God, shout out to Creators Crypto, man. Last time I had Litecoin was like 6 years ago. I started collecting some Litecoin last year, and I'm not mad. Amen. Don't let me have to pull up. Stack McChange in the house. Who the fudge still owns Litecoin? I still own a bag of Litecoin. I'm like, why? You know? $200 to the moon. Wow. Litecoin does have that going on. It has the halving coming up. It's getting closer and closer, the Litecoin halving. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, too, and take a look at what's happening there. Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 55. You know what I mean? And, you know, we've been above the neutral zone. I like to buy Bitcoin when it gets into the shaded region. I need some fear, baby, back in this game. Personally, if I want to buy more and more BTC. Now, Bitcoin's kind of off limits once I get to 55. It's telling me that I'm just getting in at a bit too high. So only to leverage trade it all day long. So this is the trade that I'm looking at. I'll put it to the trading group when I look to enter the trade or what's happening. We'll talk about the leverage, the stop loss, and all that stuff too. Stay tuned for more. All right. And shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody here. One Take Sammy did it again. Amen. Gonna look at the Litecoin halving countdown here that I was looking at every other day for a while. Wow, I remember when it said 90 days. Days are just flying by. I can't believe it's already been 2 months since my dad passed away. Like, I find that so strange. 2 months without a phone call from the person that called me almost every single day since cell phones existed. Right? Before that, we would talk on the, on the payphone or whatnot. Or I would call my dad and call home when I was in college. No, but I believe I have a cell phone even back then, and he would call me back then. Man. Just so weird not to get a phone call from a person that always called your phone. And honestly, I told you, and I'm not afraid to say this, but as I got more successful on YouTube and stuff, I got less phone calls on my phone. Most people thought I was pretty busy and didn't want to bother me. And I even left New York where my friends that would call me for the day to go do something to hang out. And then I also stopped living a regular life, like where I hang out. Like I just don't. Like I'm always working on the company. I'm always doing something for the grind or something for the family. That's it. If I'm not doing one of those two things, I'm sitting in my backyard, meditating, planting flowers, or just trying to do something to keep my mind nice and limber. Because when I'm not doing that, I'm in the charts, And so I'm just keeping that chi, keeping myself balanced with that chi. Funny, I was looking at bond just the other day too. So look, if Bitcoin gets this pump, look, STC is interesting. It's starting to get like some type of move here. Looks like it's just getting started for a bigger pump. Oh, I can't even get a flag on a smaller time frame. That thing looks like it's taken off for whatever reason. Ocean's getting a little move. We're getting some pump action here tonight. Caspa getting pumped out of nowhere. Caspa was in a little flag for a nice little move up. Kind of had this shoulder, head into shoulder, made some type of reversal pattern. Horrible rounded top, wasn't the best, but it came down and revisited this price action. Pretty crazy price action here on Caspa. I like it on MEXC. It was on MEXC first. It's funny, it has more price action on MEXC. It's kind of cool. I see something like this brewing. And even on that mini fib area. Man, I miss my dad. Like, sometimes you get angry. I don't get, death makes you angry. And it makes me angry because it's like someone like, calling my dad was awesome. Talking to my dad made me feel good. Like, there's days I got off the phone and I was like, oh man, like, and I just thought, I was like, oh, there's my dad. But I felt my wife was like, there you go. You did the right thing. You called your dad talked to you. I was like, no, I love my dad. We had a good talk. And, wow, the daily looks like it's about to rip for Caspa. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, and just sayonara. Funny, I didn't really see it in this light, but this thing looks like it could bang on you. I wonder if they have Caspa futures. I'm always weary of trading altcoins on futures, though. Very weary of it. Yeah, so I can keep my stop loss below 115 and still be a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. I do have to risk 50% for 150%. It's a chunk of a chunk, but bang. I mean, I probably go a little higher right to this area below the 200 SMA. There's 37, 4-to-1 risk reward ratio for Caspa. That to me looks insane for a pump. Who knows though? What do I know? I don't know anything. And I'm just looking at the technical analysis. I don't, and I do own a big bag of Caspa. I will disclose that. Like, I own Caspa, but I'm not pumping my bags. I'm just saying this, technically speaking, all I do is go over the charts every single day. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I just go over the charts day in and day out. And I'm just saying, wow, it's even got cup and handle vibes. Like, there's a cup with a handle there. That's why I'm telling you, man, people leave the we had more people watching and people fell off for whatever reason, but it is a Friday. I get it, but the people that stay, they get the goods, man. They get the real goods. So Caspa looks interesting to me on the 1-day chart. Aggressively oversold, and when I see that turn up, doesn't mean for sure, but it just, you're getting that curve, and all of these just shows me there's some aggressive buy pressure here, tight moving averages. And it is a symmetrical triangle, 50-50. But there is that cup and handle inside. It's interesting. Caspa looks very interesting to me. Oversold cup and handle inside the symmetrical triangle for Caspa. Very interesting. Can't say it enough. Happy B-Day, brother. What up, lifer? How you doing, sir? Shout out to Tony Rosas, my man in the house. My dad's selfish. I had to call and chase him. Refused to be like that with my kids and 2 young grandchildren. I'm in crypto to give them what I never had. Shout out to you, man. God bless you, brother. And you know what? That's what happens. They get so much love because you didn't. And that's, you know what? You break the cycle. Sammy, couple Hattie to the upside. Shout out to Tony Rosas in the house. Stephen Curry all the way from downtown. All the way from downtown, Stephen Curry back to pass. Tom Brady back to pass. 3rd down and 1. Can they beat the Jets for the 17th million time in a row? Tom Brady all the way from San Mateo. So Bitcoin Cash looks like it's going to make some bacon on the beach and follow this Bitcoin pump. Bitcoin looks like it's going to get a bit of a pump here. That's what it's starting to shape up to be, but who knows? What do I know? I know nada. I know nada over here. We got BOOKMAP. BOOKMAP showing us the liquidity. Link to BOOKMAP in the description if you want to see where the whales are. BOOKMAP is really the place to be. And the best way to sell BOOKMAP is through their site. Not to go to their site. Go to their site through my link. But just like the way they, a trading platform displays, check what the candlesticks are hiding. You'll see candlesticks, but can you see why they're going to a certain area? Do you know when they're probably going to calm down? When the liquidations stall out? Knowing this information, BOOKMAP has made me a far more accurate trader and helped me kind of navigate the waters of liquidity. So well said, right? Waters, liquidity, get it anyway. So, and not drowned in the waters of liquidity, navigating the markets. Like right now, they say 29,600, 29,800. There's a big level of liquidity down there. Suggests that we go further to the downside than to the upside based on how many orders are down there. 1,000 Bitcoin want to be bought at 29.6. I mean, they want that. They want that. So they want to load up. Could bring the price lower first before they bring it back to the upside. All right. Cumulative volume delta is negative. That means a lot of shorts have been liquidated, though. Usually that's a good insight to think that it's time, Look at that, though. A lot of shorts got liquidated. Longs got liquidated, too. Up and down. It's been a crazy morning since we started watching price action. Since 8 a.m. I've been grinding the chart since 7 in the morning. 5 hours straight, just grinding. I did not work out this morning like I usually do. Apologize for that. Instead, I meditated outside, and I really I don't know, I got into this deep state of gratitude and really got into the zone. Daily got a bullish engulfer on Bitcoin, and it's starting to make a reversal, right? And I'm calling a long back. This morning, I called a long reversal back for BTC. And so far, so good. Things are starting to work out. Just looking for that perfect entry. And that concludes the show, everyone. I thought we did pretty good. Broke down a lot, talked about many different things. It's weird. I had that drawn. I'm like, it's not drawn no more. This flag on the 15. Maybe it ends up more like a falling wedge like this. But this is what I'm looking for. That's what I want. 30,600 would be a nice little take profit area. And we broke out, technically, in my humble opinion. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out of this trend. We're out of there. And that's a good sign that this divergence did play out. And that was a strong divergence, too. We found that last night on the live stream, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure. On the weekly screen shares. So I'm going to watch price action come close to this 21-day moving average. I want to see another pump to the upside. We are in the money still from the long for Bitcoin. All right. Shout out to everyone that jumped on in with me in the trading group. Shout out to everyone that's in the trading group. If you use my MEXC link, God bless you. Thank you so much. Links are in the comment section and are in the description below as well. But right here, you can join the Discord. $99 a month, $3 a day. $270 for 3 months, and we teach a class every single Saturday, the last Saturday of every month. If you want to jump on in to class and to the trading group, it's $330. Email Crypto Lifers. You can pay in cryptocurrency as well. If you email us, we take your crypto. So jump on in today. We make it super easy. God bless each and every one of you for being here. Shout out to Crypto Billy for being here. Shout out to everyone here. Live in light, love, and positivity, and trade at your highest frequency with the Lifers. Join the 99 and be on time. Shout out to everyone still here kicking it with me on the live. Shout out to Justin Cashmore, Maddie Forrest Gump, Crypto Billy, Love Learning, all the awesome Blue crew that held me down the entire time. Let's make sure we didn't miss any fan funds here. No. Hey, Lifer, can you check out ORAI? We got that. DXY, we got that. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the memberships. God bless each and every one of you for jumping on in. Thank you for being here with me. And may you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay blessed on this 7/7, the 7th day of July. Look out for my trade setup in the trading group. What I'm looking for when this kind of plays out, the stop loss, take profit, and the entry of which I'm looking for along, even with the leverage that I'm going to use. Let's take a big sip of the lemon water. And you're just going to feel better if you drink water. Like somehow your day will go a little better. You'll feel a little better. And so if you want, we can kick it and we can just have a drink together. Drink some water together here. Bitcoin pumping back to 30,400. Almost need to watch it on the smaller time frame. 5 minutes in a bull flag. I got to show this now. The 5 minute wants to pump right now. Doesn't care. 5 minutes says it's time. about to rip right now, that 5-minute chart. Look at that. Man. Bitty 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 Bitcoin. Bitty 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 Bitcoin. $29,821. Interesting. I just took a nibble on a long, and I'll begin to add as time goes on. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes over here. But look, that's a beautiful little flag right there that wants to pump to the upside on the 5-minute chart. Measured move would take you to 30,800. All right, I'm out. I want to get the end, but it has lemon seeds in it. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. God bless you all for jumping on in. I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. Quick update in the morning and the Saturday night live stream. God bless you all. Thank you so much for a wonderful week. Monday through Friday on this beautiful summer day, 7/7. Shout out to my dad, RIP Jimmy Price. God bless you, brother. I miss you more than you would ever know, man. Wow, your voice was awesome to hear, and I wish I could hear it again. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the next live. Stay blessed.